Oh man, I got this rash. It just won't go away. It'll never go away. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'm going to be talking to you about how to avoid hanger rash. Now, that's not like because I was shaving today and got a little bit too close, but yeah, it's just one of these things that it will never go away because as long as there's airplanes and there's hangars, there's going to be hanger rash. And so you might be thinking, like, what is hanger rash? Well, it's kind of pilot talk for if you're moving a an airplane in or out of a hangar, or even around within a hangar. You bump something, ooh, scrape the wingtip a little bit. Ooh, they call that hanger rash. There's also runway rash, and we like to stay away from that. That's if you kind of skim something off of the runway while you're landing. Usually, yeah, that can be just a little bit of runway rash. But we're not talking about that today. And yeah, Al, welcome to the show here, and Corey. And did anyone else creep into here? Looks like just you guys are in here for now. But that's cool. And yeah, Al, I see you dropped an email for me. Okay, I'll check it after the show here. I don't usually check my superpilotish email, but anyone that wants to contact me, it's superpilotish@gmail.com. And yeah, so send me an email if you want. So I got a post office box too that no one ever sends anything to. But anyways, one day maybe. Okay, so we're gonna get into yeah, I'm gonna give you five tips to avoid the hanger rash. And so here we go. Let's just start off with that. I even got the whiteboard. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. How to avoid hanger rash. Number one, take your time. What's the rush, man? Yeah, you know what? Every time I've seen a lot of hanger rash, I've been involved in hanger rash. Oops. It's gonna happen. You make mistakes. And I'd say the biggest contributing factor to any type of like minor damage like that, and sometimes it can be major, is just people being in a rush. They want to. Oh, I'm late for this. I'm late for getting burgers at the next airport. Oh, I got to get the plane out right away. Oops. Or I'm late to get on my trip or you might have filed a IFR flight plan or something, and that opens at this time, or something like that. You can always call up flight services, and you can always delay things. It's aviation, right? So we're all used to delays, and it's totally understandable, and you don't have to feel embarrassed about, oh yeah, well, I had to go get someone to help me out, pull my plane out of the hangar or something like that. So, oh, hey, Wrench. So, yeah, so here we go. I was thinking, how would this be relatable to people that maybe aren't pilots? And it would kind of work for any type of coordination of people or moving of things. So, for example, like when I was a machinist, there was times where I'd have to use a crane to lift maybe move a piece of machinery within the shop, or maybe I'd have to get a lot of times just putting a great big chunk of metal on a table to machine it, or other times you could have it where I drove a transport truck just for a little bit, and yeah, for like um being in a rush with the transport, trying to back it up, you don't really know what you're doing. uh, let's just say after I scraped up a couple, and like I parked on the other side of the yard after that. But anyways, that's also part of the game too. And or you're using crane trucks, you're moving backing up a U-Haul truck. Um, don't go too fast, just kind of take your time. So the other thing here, this would be the old get the old marker out again. You would ideally have someone helping you out here. So what they call that in aviation is, well, it's kind of there's a couple meanings for this. Wing walkers. Okay, so number two, Get some wing walkers. Now that's not like the cute chick hanging out on the top of the biplane for the air show. Although you can have cute chicks watching your wingtips. So what you would do? Oh, actually, maybe I'll bring out the old KD12X for this one. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So if you got your airplane here, usually if someone's pushing or pulling the airplane, there would be it's a tug or some sort of contraption that's connected to the nose wheel, and that way you can steer it in and out. So what you want to do ideally is to have a couple of people standing on the, well, how would we do this here if I could show you guys? Yeah, so if you're pulling this out, you got one guy over here, one guy over here, and you're at the front and you're kind of pulling it out. So so each person's watching each wingtip. And then so if you're getting close to something, and what you got to do is have nice clear signals where this guy here, like if you're standing at the front of a plane, you can't tell where this way back here where that wingtip is. It's kind of there's no reference to where it is. Sometimes you can look at a shadow on the ground, but even still, depending on the angle of the sun, it might not be exactly right. So yeah, get somebody standing out there. And so when you do get those people out there, and I know the air cadets are really good at this, and I know any Air Force guys or professional marshalers are pretty good about this stuff. And just before you're gonna have now you got a gang working here, so you got to be able to work together. So I always like to do make sure you have a good little briefing before you move the plane, not just like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. Like, no, okay, hey, remember, we are taking our time. Okay, we got a couple minutes. We're gonna figure out our strategy, and we're all gonna move the plane out nice and safely, and we're not gonna get any hangar rash. That's what you see football players, they get into the huddle and they say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then they go out and do the play. Same thing should apply when you are moving an airplane. And while one of the things you should be talking about is what signals you're going to be using. Well, just running out of room here. So what signals are you going to be using? So maybe you have somebody that's never watched a wingtip before. And so if you're standing out, you're marshaling, or you're being a wing walker, thumbs up means, here we go, get in front of the camera here. So thumbs up means that yes, your wingtip is clear, and get that arm right up there, like definitely visible from where the person in charge of pulling the plane can see you. And big, nice big thumbs up, straight up in the air. And so that's one of those things, because that kind of reminds me of like when I was a kid there, I got a part-time job as an umpire for like little league. Sort of. I think I only did like one or two games, and then it was like, this sucks. I forget why I didn't do it, but I think I did like one or two games. I just kind of hung out at third base, and no kids ever made it to third base, so I was just standing around, made like, I don't know, $5 or something. But one of the guy that was training us to be 12-year-old umpires or whatever, he he was saying that when you're an umpire, you want to make big movements. So like if someone's out, they're out, right? It's when if someone's safe, they're safe. So if like, you don't see that in like a professional baseball game where the guy's like, strike one. Like, yeah, he's out. Like, no, they're like, they're going nuts on it, right? And that's really cool for if I ever am being like, I've never worked as a rampy or anything like that, and done any professional marshaling there. But when a marshaler is really into it, and they're saying, come on, come on, come on, come on, big movements like that, there's like, even if you're kind of like a private pilot, like I don't know, not like me, but I haven't been exposed to it that much. Well, I know what it is now, but maybe at first I wouldn't know. What do I got to do? I'm a private pilot. It's like, well, this guy's like, come on, come on. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense with big movements like that. So, and everyone knows, thumbs up is okay. You're good. So, that's another thing there too, and I was thinking about, what signals you'd be using, and so say you're, whenever you're backing up a truck or something like that. When I was younger and I didn't know anything about trucks or backing up or how to communicate using any type of hand signals, I would say, "Yeah, turn to the right." Like, because if I was thinking, "Okay, I'm backing up, I'm gonna turn to the right," and then you get in the mirror, you're in the rearview mirror, and you're like, "Turn to the right, this way, turn this way," and then it's in your mirror and it's backwards, and like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So one guy, I was doing that to someone once. The guy stopped the truck and he got out and he was like, "What are you doing, man? Just point which way you want me to go, and I'll figure it out." Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, and then, like, say if you're backing up to a loading bay or something like that, you can say, "Okay, come on, come on, come on, come on." I don't even know what you're supposed to do for a truck. I guess probably, yeah, yeah, come on, come on, come on. And then I saw a guy doing it once. I just copied it from now. It's like, okay, you got this much room, and then as you're getting closer to the bay dock, to the dock, to the dock, to the dock, to the dock, and then whoa, stop, something like that. Okay, you're getting closer, closer. Yeah, that'd be good. And I usually do if I'm going to be directing, or if I'm someone else is maybe pulling the plane out of the hangar, and I'm the wing guy, the wing walker. Uh, I'll usually say, the only thing I like, you don't want to be directing the guy that's pulling or pushing the plane out of the hangar. Let them make this decision where they want to go. So you're not going to say, "Okay, cut it right, cut it left," because if this guy's moving here, the wingtips are doing weird things out here. So you can just, like, I would say, say it's within one arm span, or maybe a yard or something. You'd be like, "Okay, you're good. You got this much. Okay, you got this much. You got about a foot straight back. You should be good." And then slowly go, or you don't want to be going like, "Yeah, you're good," and you got if you go straight back exactly, you got like an inch, you're good. That's no good either. So kind of be you can use that as like visual how far you are from the wingtip, and then the person that's using the tug or using the or pushing or pulling, however they're doing it, they can make the call and might stop that. That's also part of the taking your time. Don't go too fast. All right. Yeah, we'll get another tip out here for you guys. Oh, yeah, there's another thing too I saw with just to talk briefly about it. I was going to mention it here with the wing walkers. I saw this thing, just like I Google searched Hangar Rash, and there's this company. It is called Wing Guard, and they have this neat little thing where, I'll get my double whiteboard out here today. We'll get my backup whiteboard so I can show you what this wing guard thing does. And I mean, it's pretty easy to Google it up yourself, but I'll just tell you. So we got our airplane here. What do we got here? We got an airplane. All right, that is like a terrible looking airplane. Whatever. Okay, there you go. We got an airplane. So yeah, what it is they'll have a little tow bar type tug thing out here with some wheels. What am I gonna do? I don't know. So there's your tug, and it's got a little pedestal on there with a tablet, smaller than this, but like a little tablet. And they got these little suction cup things that you can stick underneath or on top of the wing, right out at the tips. And at the tail, you can put it back here on the tail, or you can have a couple on each end of the tail. So you put these little suction cup mounts underneath or on top, and it's got these little sensors that kind of shoot out radar. I don't know. I guess it'd be some kind of sonar, radar, sonar or something, bouncy measurement stuff, proximity sensors maybe. And then that transmits data back to this tablet that's up here. And there'll be like a graphical representation of the plane like this, and say you're getting kind of close to the wall over here, it'll beep at you and put a little flash. It'll go beep beep beep, and then like, oh, I better stop. So that was a cool thing. I put a link in the description below to wingguard.com, and it looked like it looked like it probably cost some cash. There's no price on it. They don't have it on their website how much it is, but you think about it, if some of these airplanes out there, if you got like a, well, I don't know, you get yourself like a brand new, just for fun. The other day I was looking at TBM 950. How much is that? Like, what's the fastest single pilot airplane you can get? Is TBM 950, and it's turbine. It's it's like 6.5 million Canadian. It's like, okay, if I got a $6.5 million airplane, and I got maybe on the wingtip, I got like a I don't know, like a $200,000 radome on the end or something like that. It's like, okay, yeah. And then the thing is, I know other planes, like if you got a was it Malibu, Piper Malibu, that's got like a single spar all the way through the wings, and if you damage that, it's basically a write off, or it costs you for a fortune to fix it up, because it's all a single piece. So it's basically a write off if you damage the spar on that. So it's like, you got a couple $1 million airplane or something. It might be worth to invest in a little bit of tech in addition to the people with their thumbs up in the air. So, anyways, yeah. So there we go. Just figured I'd give a little shout out to the wing guard company, and it looks pretty slick, and I think it'd be a good way to protect your airplane. Okay, yeah. So the other thing we're gonna do here, if you are moving in and out of an hangar, or this is like it was always the rule at, it's usually the rule somewhere or the unwritten rule somewhere. Anytime you got bay doors, like even at like a mechanics, like an auto shop, or like at machine shops that I worked at, there's usually a man door, and then you got the bay door there where, the forklift can go in and out and stuff. And I don't know how many times I've seen like people put the forks right through the door on the bay door. They knock it off the track because, oh yeah, the door is almost there, and they start coming through, and wham, the top of the forklift knocks it off the track. And I've seen that so many times in machine shops, and I've actually seen a plane. I was backing a plane up, uh, and like, well, there we had people on the wingtips, and there was a guy. I don't know. I was just kind of like a new pilot at the time. This guy, it was kind of like an automated door that you could kind of stand on, and you open the door, and it rolls down a track, and you stand on it, and you kind of go for a ride, and you ride the door open. And so there's like one of the instructors there at the time. He's just looking around, having fun riding this door, and I'm backing it up, and I couldn't see the wingtip. So he's like, the guy on the wingtip's like, whoa, whoa, stop. And I'm like, what? And then I see the door opening, and there's this and that and that. And the other guy over here is still pushing the plane back. And I'm like, what's going on? So I kind of turned it a bit. And then my buddy, he just lifted up the wingtip a little bit, and they took off the little strobe light on the wingtip. And if he didn't do that, lift it up over this like metal box that was on the door, it would have taken off the wingtip of the plane. But he was like, lifting it up. So the guy was like pretty negligent on not looking where he's going, opening up this door. And I didn't know what I was doing. So I mean, technically I'm in charge. But then that was another thing where we didn't have a good briefing about, okay, we're pushing our plane back. If I say stop, we stop. If let's go slow here. So we got to make sure that the doors open all the way. Door open all the way. Okay. I guess, yeah. So that's not your airplane door, but your hangar door or your bay door. Make sure it goes, it's open, it's stopped. Or conversely, if it's in the wintertime and you're just moving planes around, make sure it's either open all the way or closed all the way. That way you're not dealing with extra moving objects, and you can't judge how fast it's going. You don't know how fast you're going. Anyways, we took out a strobe light. Oops. And so I know that's something you got to watch out for. Okay, and then the other thing here too, it's kind of like, I don't know if I kept take your time. That's kind of like the most important first, but then it's also kind of important down here. We're just going to say, uh, as far as the speed of pushing your airplane and maneuvering it around on the ground in the hangar and stuff. Don't go too fast. So we'll say not too fast. And you got to think about it too. That it's the bigger the airplane and the faster it's going, the more energy it takes to stop, the more distance it takes to stop. So if you're just ripping back really fast, and or like you're ripping back fast, you got people help pushing you back, and you want to stop. Well, the people pushing you back, they can't help you stop because they're only pushing on the leading edge of the wing. And then you got a little tow bar there. Maybe that thing just like pops off or something, and whoop, now you're rolling your airplane into some other airplane, or you're doing something. So always don't go too fast. And another thing too, stop if you have to. Okay, I should probably have this in red, but I don't know what happened to my red marker. I think the guys putting in my insulation kind of threw it in their pocket and forgot about it. Not too fast. We'll say stop. Okay, so stop. And it's not even, it wouldn't be a bad thing to do even still when you're doing your little briefing. Number 3 there, the briefing with your wing walkers, with the people that are helping out. It wouldn't be too bad to go talk to them and say, okay, if we have to stop, this is what we're going to do. We'll say, if any one of us has stopped, we all stop. Okay, if I say whoa whoa whoa, means don't push or something, whatever you want to use for your communication, make sure it's clear, and you do that. And if you're not going too fast, even if you do damage something, it won't be that much damage because you're not slamming into it at like 20 miles an hour, but you're just giving it a bump. Oops. And okay, so there we go. We're avoiding hanger rash today. So let's do a little I don't know, just a little summary on this thing here, and then I'll see if there's any questions. Okay, how do we avoid hanger rash? Okay, number 1, take your time. Yeah, just take it easy, man. And another thing with that is maybe show up a little bit earlier before you're leaving to go on a flight. If you got that extra time, because that's another thing too. I was going to mention this before, but I forgot. It's like it always, no matter what you're doing in life, pretty much, it always takes you longer than you think. So if you're going out there and you're like, oh, I'll just okay, I'm going to get out there and walk around the airplane, get it out of the hangar, close up the hangar, go on my flight. That shouldn't take more than a half hour. It's like, no, it's definitely going to take more than a half hour, because all it takes is some guy at the airport to come over and say, hey, nice plane, man. What year is that? And after that, you're shooting the shit for half an hour there, and now you're behind schedule. Now you can't take your time, and maybe you might have a little hanger rash somewhere or something. Not good. And then, so for your wing walkers, make sure you always have them. And usually around an airport, people are they love airplanes. That's why they're at the airport. So you can get anyone hanging around. Hey, can you watch my wingtip? Get little kids to do it. Oh wow, that'd be cool. And just as long as you get, even if they don't know anything, make sure you brief them very carefully. Okay, this is what we're going to say. I want the thumb way up in the air. It's clear. If I'm a foot away from the hangar door, we're going to say a foot away, something like that. Or whoa, whoa, stop. Okay, so you get your briefing, whatever signals you want to use them. In and out of the hangar, make sure the door is open all the way. Or if you're even moving around things in the winter, maybe make sure it's closed all the way. And make sure that you're not going too fast when you're pushing it or using a tug or whatever it is. And do not be afraid to stop at all, because that's, if you stop, you're probably not going to hit anything if you stopped, right? So, and but people just want to, let's just go. Maybe the plane's going off cockeyed and someone doesn't catch it, and don't be afraid to stop or tell the person to stop. And so you've already communicated that with the briefing. So anyways, yeah, that would, and that would work for anything, backing up a U-Haul truck to the apartment, or I don't know, backing a boat up into the lake or on a trailer, whatever. You can do whatever you want there. Oh, hey, Shecky, I see you in here. All right, well, I'm gonna go take a look here through any comments, questions, concerns, and what do we got here? Okay. Here we go. So Rash here, his way of keeping. By the way, yeah, he keeps poison ivy out of the hanger, so you don't get the hanger rash. I don't know if I ever mentioned this on the superpilotish channel before, with regards to the use of puns. They are definitely welcome. So thanks, Wrench. So who doesn't like a good pun, man? So okay, here we go. What else we got here? We got a bunch of people here. Oh, Jim, I didn't see you pop in here. Okay. And yeah, because Jim's avatar. Where's Jim here? There you go. There's Jim. Road badges, those little rock chips. And then Al here. See, this is where I didn't see Jim sneak in, because Al has the same color of little avatar there. So the color is the same. Great minds think alike. There we go. Get the big picture. Yes, Al, I would agree. What else we got here? Yeah, you get the big picture, meaning like, okay, that's like general situational awareness. Okay. All right, here we go. And Wrench with trailers and cars, he likes to hold his hands apart to show the actual distance. Yeah. And yep. So I'm not alone in that. Wrench likes to do that too. So what else we got here? Oh, here we go. And then Jim also says here, call out the distance, 2 feet, 6 inches, whatever. Yep, all that communication that would definitely help out. So, and then Wrench thinks that a TBM 950 would be a good retirement plane for me. Sure would. I just need just need millions and millions more dollars. Sure, no problem. Which who knows how the super pilotage channel is gonna go, Here we go. So Alice saying it's okay to trust an ultralight I traded for my old dirt bike though, right? I'm not sure. Well, I would say, and then Ranch is saying here too, are tricycle or tail dragger planes more likely to be damaged? That's a good question there. Okay, tricycle gear versus tail dragger. I'll just bring up the we have both editions here of the KD12X. Okay, here's our tail dragger. Okay, now the cool thing about tail draggers, okay, we got this here. Here's your wheels. Usually your main landing gear here, those are kind of your big wheels. The little guy on the back is just like, usually just like a little, on a little plane, like it can be a pretty small wheel. And usually they're castering. So if you're pushing it back, if you just have two guys on a tail dragger, you can kind of use kind of like the idea of like differential thrust to the tail draggers are very, very maneuverable around in a hangar. You can kind of push back on the tail here a little bit and just make it go wherever you want. Yeah, so it's kind of like which is more likely to be damaged. You know what? I would probably guess that the tricycle gear. I should get like actual wheels on this for a tricycle gear. I would say that the tricycle gear. Wait, it's conventional. I always get those mixed up. It's conventional, tricycle, tail dragger. Okay, but yeah, so you got the nose wheel on there. I would say that any airplane with a nose wheel will probably get damaged more. Just statistically, I'm thinking, because when you're moving the nose around, like say you're backing up and your wheels are probably right around here on the wings, but the distance between your where your wheels would be and your tail, That's pretty long. Like so, and you could have a nose wheel up here. So it's kind of like a weird little ratio that you could have it if your plane's like I don't know, say it's like I don't know 20 feet long or something like that, like your average airplane. If you're moving the nose a foot, then like to the right or left, the tail's moving off like 3 or 4 feet. So it's really hard to judge that if you're at the front watching where the tail's going. So I would say for Hangar Rash, yeah, you'd be better off probably with a tail dragger, I'd imagine. Just from my experience, that's what I would say. But it also comes down to how much do you want to pay and how much fun do you want to have? What kind of, what's the use? Your tail dragger airplanes are great for little grass strips and stuff like that. If you're going in and out of there, you see all those guys with tundra tires up in Alaska. They don't use the anything with a nose wheel. So airplanes, it's all a huge trade-off. But for Hangar Rash, my bet is that tail draggers would be probably a little bit better. Okay. What's this here? One place used my duct tape channel locks for 6 weeks holding the door together. Actually, you know what? That is one thing too that uh, the channel locks, actually, channel locks. What the hell? That's nuts, man. I can see like vice grips and stuff. I know. Anytime that the guys ever came to the machine shop to fix up the doors, it's like their number one. They got number one thing they do. Wham! Throw the vice grips on there and hold the door. Like those are. It's like uh, the number one tool for holding a door if you're working on a garage door at home or any type of a like a garage door at home or bay door or anything that's got a channel there. That's an awesome yeah, that's an awesome thing to have. Actually, I did that. I replaced my garage door opener and I used that little tip. I think I held it open with, yeah, I think I did hold it open with a did I do that? Seems to me I did that at some point, but I saw the professionals doing that fixing a door. So, but channel locks, they don't even lock. I don't know if I got any channel locks here. Might. Oh well. Yeah, channel locks are basically just like big pliers. They don't lock like vice grips, but oh well. Duct tape on channel locks. That's I wouldn't trust that myself. Okay. Okay. All right. Wrench is telling stories here too. Wrench is saying he doesn't ever recall having anyone help me move an airplane since I was a student. My passengers just stay out of the way. Well, it's like whatever, however safe you want to be. And then even moving the plane, like if you're out on a ramp or something like that, there's lots of room around. Yeah, not it takes a little less coordination, but I don't kids love pushing airplanes back. And anytime I did like sightseeing flights, it was always like if you want the guy to look really cool, like in front of the wife or like especially if it's like a girlfriend or something like that, like you'll say to the guy, "Hey man, can you give me a hand pushing the plane back?" And they're like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then yeah, just grab the strut there and just so the guy's like, and the girl's like, "Oh wow, ew. This guy's pretty handy." Anyways, I always try to help out the guys there on their dates. Okay, what else we got here? Okay. Well, there we go. Every once in a while I might miss a few of your questions here, but don't take it personally or anything like that. And yeah, I would agree with you, Al. I said this is sketchy as hell. Fix it 6 weeks. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for today, and we will shut her down. Today is Friday. All right, cool. So it's the weekend, and yeah, so I'll be back on Monday because I do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. We'll just kind of shut her down, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.